if it all goes to hell, at least they've got, some slush funds that they can pull from.
That net zero accelerator fund, baby.
So I don't know if you folks have seen this, but the Conservatives have actually forced an emergency meeting to investigate Trudeau's $8 billion with a B, net zero accelerator slush fund.
Light work.
And so what this was basically designed to do was it was supposed to provide some of the largest emitters in Canada with funding to commit to polluting less and to implementing new technologies and things like that to become greener. And so what happened, though, is that they had 17 companies. So two of them actually created commitments. Mm-hmm. The other 15, no commitments at all. Everybody got money, though.
Wow.
And there's only, how much was it again? Oh, yeah, 0.4 billion left out of that $8 billion fund. And so why they're calling this meeting, why they're losing their mind over it. So the audit that was done by Canada's Commissioner of the Environment and Sustainable Development reported that most companies receive funding without commitments and that there was no tracking of the net zero accelerator's overall value for money in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. So basically, this audit found they were not doing any tracking whatsoever. People could have just said, yeah, I think maybe we might reduce emissions. Can we have some money? And they're like, sure. And to be fair, though, it wasn't quite that easy because it took 20 months per company to actually work through all the paperwork to get into this. So that's why there was only so few. But because there were so few, they got big chunks of money because they put in the 20 months. They got their money and they had no accountability for it. It was just tax dollars to business.
Yeah. Surprise.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be interesting because they're going to force it in front of committee and they're going to force it in front of the House and have 5 days of public discussion on this. And it's another thing to add to the list. Put it right alongside We Charity and right alongside SNC Lavalin and the myriad of other things that are there. It's just another Arrive scam. You know what I mean?
Dental care.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it reminds me of our conversation with Michael Barrett a couple months back now. Mm-hmm. And where, again, as a Canadian citizen, I'm sick of the hearings. I'm done with the committee stuff. I'm over all of it. I just want action. But I know the intellectual side of my brain's yeah, but this is just the system we're stuck in, where the only power we have is, we have to do committee meetings just to keep showing the corruption so that when the time comes for the polls to open up and people have a decision to make, they have all the information at their disposal to make their decision of how bad this government performed in the past X amount of years. As an emotional person, I just want everyone in prison. That's how I feel. But I know that's just not the reality, and that's just not how things work.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is, who are you going to imprison? The companies just took advantage of something that was there. There was no legal rules broken, and the people who administered it were just following the policy as it was written. I mean, the people you would have to imprison would have to be the very top because they were the ones that did not put any evaluative metrics in this to determine whether or not this was going to be a useful and prudent use of funds. And that is just kind of something that's wrong with every part of this government is that, and I can say this because I'm an evaluator, is that there's no evaluation done at all at any level to be able to show the value. And that's my biggest hope for our next government is that they really do walk the walk, talk the talk, and do what they said they're going to do and create some evaluative metrics for this to be able to show the ROI on the money that they're spending so that people can have faith again in the government because there's no trust, there's no faith. Everything just coming out now is just wasteful use of funds.
Yep, Swiss cheese. Don't trust the government. Don't trust the news. Don't trust any of our institutions, and then you see chaos in the streets. Man, there's things are bleak for people, and then you look south of the border and all the craziness that's happening down there with their upcoming election. Mm-hmm. You're just ugh, what the heck is going to happen? So.
Well, that's the show. Have a great day,
dude. I'm calling it, man. Trump's going to win an election from prison. It'll be interesting. They're tying him up enough to not be at the Republican convention when they announce their nominee. So, woo! Let's go. It's only getting more chaotic.
Yeah. If there's any hope, my hope is that there's enough people out there right now that are putting forward good ideas. And I saw one recently come across TikTok, and it was basically them talking about how India is such a huge polluter in the world, like producing so much CO2 because they burn so much coal. And they were saying that Canada has the third largest natural gas reserves here. And that if India switched to natural gas from coal, that they would cut their carbon emissions in half. And it would be a boon to the Canadian economy. It would be seen as greening. It would be seen as supporting Canadian infrastructure. It would be an export so that you'd bring money back into the country. Like, so there is these kind of conversations happening. And it's funny because I keep seeing people, commenting back, and they're like, but natural gas is still hydrocarbons, it's bad. And you're like, you're right. It's still creating CO2. But what's really great about it is that you transition. You move from the coal to the natural gas. And then probably by that point in time, once we've used up, a decade or so of natural gas, what's really cool about the natural gas lines is that they also support hydrogen, which is a carbon neutral fuel. So if you could get that to a point where we have the advancements of technology that they can produce hydrogen in a really efficient way, you don't even have to take the infrastructure out. You just swap it to hydrogen. So it's like, it's about a transition. It's about the imperfect step. It's like, we're not going to utopia right away because that's not how it works.
I don't know. Guibo told me that is how that works, though. He even told me by going up on the Premier's house roof back in the day. He knows all the ways because he's so smart. The
way you said that, I almost thought you were trying to do a French accent.
No, dude, I may as well try. Dude.
That was electric, wasn't it? Well, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. If you did, you can check this video out here to the top right corner, right near my window. Get over. There it is right there. And if you liked that, you can also check this one right here. We love you. Have a good one. Peace out.